Before we break down this LSU Georgia game, I want to remind everybody, new promo here for Power Hour. Use the promo code HOLIDAY. That'll save you 20% off the entire website. All you got to do is just, when you're at checkout, just type in HOLIDAY. Boom, it'll take 20% off right there. Now, talk to me, LSU, Georgia. Georgia, obviously, Georgia doing Georgia things, right? Number one school in the country. They're minus 17 here. Over under is 50.5. LSU, I don't want to say I want to take anything away from them, but they're ranked what, fifth? They're trying to get in there. Talk to me about this game. What do you think?
Well, they won't be fifth after the rankings come out. We're filming this on Monday.
That's true.
Of course, LSU lost at A&M, and I mean, all they needed to do was win out, and they were going to be in the championship. Now, I don't even think if they win, they would get in. Georgia, on the other hand, Georgia can lose. Georgia can lose and still get in. That's how big a disparity I think it is between them and the next best team in college football. Correct. And the 17 points tells you that. I mean, you don't see the SEC championship very often. You won't see a championship game in many of the Power 5 conferences where you're getting 17 points with the underdog. And Coach Kelly has an up-and-down season. Let's remember, he started the year with that loss against Florida State, a neutral site game. Then he finishes the year with a tough loss at Texas A&M. In between, LSU was pretty daggone good. But that's it's a deserving underdog. Let's just say that. The way they played last week.
Fair.
I think if they win on the road last week, even if they wouldn't have looked good, if they would have found a way to win, I'm guessing this line would be more like 13, 14 points. So you're getting an extra 3 or 4 points here. And that's why I'm on LSU here. I think LSU has a lot more to gain by a win than does Georgia. Like I said, I think Georgia can lose and still get in. Maybe even lose, still get in and be the number 1 or 2 seed, where, which is all that really matters, is that you're the 1 or 2. To me, that's the biggest disparity in college football right now, is between 1 and everybody else. I think Georgia does win, but I think it's closer to 7 to 8, 9, 10 points. 17 points. That's an absolute ton. And against an LSU team that looked terrible last week, when you're betting, remember this: the worse someone looks last week, the bigger edge you actually have that next week, because they're going to have a huge bounce back week. You're getting more points than you probably should have because they looked poor last week. That's what they call the ugly dog theory in handicapping. So last week they looked terrible. They're a big dog this week. That's when you really want to play teams that are underdogs. So this is a great spot as a handicapper for LSU getting all the points.
I think you hit the nail on the head here. I think they're getting 3 to 4 points just because of that loss last week. I mean, maybe a 4 is a lot, but definitely 3. If they win last week, maybe this is like 14 and a hook.
Yeah, probably 13 and a half, I'm guessing.
13 and a hook, yeah, exactly, right there. So I think you're right here. LSU maybe, or I should say Georgia maybe doesn't have the foot all the way on the gas here, can ease up a little bit, and maybe I think I like an LSU backdoor cover.
Let's remember, though, Georgia did lose the SEC championship last year when they were the number 1 seed to Alabama. So I definitely don't think they'll be quite as overconfident as they were last year. But this isn't Alabama they're facing. This isn't Nick Saban they're facing. And as much as I like Brian Kelly, was a Cincinnati coach, which everybody knows I'm a Cincinnati fan, he hasn't been the best in the biggest games. Let's remember, when he's been in the big games, he hasn't looked the best.
That's fair. Guys, I got to remind everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Power Hour is brought to you Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern.